Hello and welcome to another episode of the Investor Financing Podcast. And this is going to be like a very exciting show because we're going to talk about some younger, up and coming real estate rock stars. And what I love about this story is, well, they're brothers and they get along, obviously, at least when it comes to the multifamily portion of it. But you're taking people, family members that grew up together from, just a normal middle class family. Their mom still works and is a house cleaner, so that they didn't really come from the backbone of like where they had stuff handed to them. Because I was thinking, how did these young guys already get involved in 600 units and at such an early age? And it's just truly amazing. And I think whoever's watching this or is going to watch this in the future, this is going to hopefully inspire you to go out there and take massive action and get the right mentors. And that's the real key of it. Please welcome Jeffrey, Kenneth, and Kerwin Donis. They built a portfolio of cash flowing rentals and a six-figure business as single family real estate investors. The Donis Brothers are passionate about helping others reach their financial goals through real estate investing. You can check out their podcast, The Real Estate Monopoly, where they interview professionals who are dominating the real estate industry. Their portfolio consists of 600 plus units across the Southeast. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us, Beau. Yeah, thanks for having us, Beau.
No, this is really cool. So we're going to unpack a lot. So let's just start. You guys are in, is it Jeffrey and Kenneth are twins?
Jeffrey, yeah, Kerwin.
Jeffrey and Kerwin are twins. My name is Kenneth. I'm the older one, so I'm 23.
Okay, just do a quick intro real quick.
Yeah.
You guys are going to get confused.
This is Kerwin. I'm 20. Jeffrey, I'm 20 as well.
Yeah, and I'm like I said, my name is Kenneth. I'm 23 years old.
Okay. All right. So guys, this is pretty amazing. So let's go back to high school. Okay. You guys are who got started in real estate first? Where was that conversation? How'd this first transpire? Cause you guys were probably wholesaling properties at 18.
Yeah.
So, I just came across wholesaling on a podcast that I had seen called The Breakfast Club. And I saw a guy come on and start speaking about how he came from nothing and basically built a multi-million-dollar business. And so it just kind of gave me the idea that we could do that as well. And at the time we were all in college. I think they were just graduating. They were in their first semester of college.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. And it really just started with podcasts. So like he said, he found it on YouTube. And then you start to learn a little bit more and you just hear that there's so many success stories in real estate with people starting with no money and not much experience. And that fit exactly what we were like, right? We were 18. And that's quickly how we learned about it. Eventually just started listening to a lot of podcasts and eventually started taking action.
Yeah. And so then you guys said, okay, well, we have no money. We have a little bit of skills now because we've educated ourselves and we're going to go out and wholesale properties. Because if you understand wholesaling, we can basically tie up a property, get it under contract, and we can assign the contract. We don't need money or credit. It's a perfect way to start. It's a perfect way you can do that even when you're not starting. You see people that's their whole business model is wholesaling.
Yep.
So you locked up your first wholesale deal. Was it a success? Did you close it? And what was that fee?
Yeah. So we definitely failed a lot before we got our successful first transaction. The first fee was a little over 30 grand. And that we actually closed two deals that day. So the first one was that, and the other one was $500. But for us, obviously never have made money like that really showed us what we could do in real estate. And it took us 6 months of cold calling consistently. We were calling from 9 to 8 PM. We had dialers. We learned how to skip trace data, pull data, upload it to the dialer. And then, eventually we just built we kind of had a CRM that we got for free. We uploaded all the leads there. And eventually just kept following up and learned a lot about how to do that too.
Yeah.
So did your mother brought you guys up as a single mother?
Yeah.
Correct.
Single mom.
Okay. So, So how does your mom react today? With your success? This must be amazing I'm sure coming from certain cultures, she was no, you need to go to college. You need to get a job. Walk me through that process of hey, mom, we're going to do this because I know you want a better life for us, but we know we're going to be successful eventually in the real estate business. How did this all transpired? And was your mom trying to push you to go to school and things like that?
Yeah. So I was actually in school I was trying to become a physician assistant, and I was the first one that kind of decided that I didn't want to return to school. So I just told her, and she was not very, she was very upset when I had told her, and she said, no, you're not dropping out, you're going back to school. And I just kept telling her, I'm not going to. And I think that we can, actually do this as a business and as a career.
Yeah. And this happened the summer before I was supposed to go back for my sophomore year. So that's kind of when I made my first check. That's why I didn't necessarily return, because I saw that I could actually be successful at it. Yeah, and I think once we started making money, she started to realize that this was something that we weren't wasting time with. But initially, there was a day where we were low. We needed money to update our dialer, and it was like I asked her to withdraw $500 from our savings account, and she said this is the last time. And you guys are wasting your time and money. And I think like it was 2 weeks after that we got our first deal, that $30,000 check. And it was just it was a full circle moment for us for sure.
Yeah.
I'm getting chills just thinking about like that when you got like that first check, and that's pretty like inspiring to like so many people. That's pretty amazing. Like, what was your mom's reaction like when she saw that check? Was she just like, okay, I'm wrong, or did she? You still need to go to school?
I think for a few weeks and months after that, she still was adamant about us going to school, but it wasn't it wasn't more of like a fight. It wasn't you guys are wasting your time. It was just I want you guys to finish school just for me. And then eventually, she just realized that we're not just, sleeping in and wasting our time and not really putting time toward this, but, we're waking up, getting, stuff done throughout the day and just working as hard as we can.
And another thing she's observed that we travel a lot to conferences and things like that. So we're always learning. So our learning and our education hasn't ended. It just isn't in the traditional setting that she might have kind of imagined or pictured.
Yeah. It's the same story with me. I didn't go to college, and I was got my real estate license. I started slinging I was a residential mortgage broker. And I tell people, listen, I didn't go to college. I don't have the highest education, but I've spent more time in the field and like boot camps and seminars. I know how to structure real estate deals. I know how to do a lot. Like, you can't get this education anywhere else. Right. And that's what like so important for people to understand. Like, I know a lot, and I can help a lot of people, and I do help a lot of people. I have people that my friend, I got him into helped him get in the Airbnb business, and I taught him about cost segregation, and you save hundreds of thousands of dollars. And the guy's like netting, 25, 30 grand a month right now. And he's like, doesn't need to work anymore. And he did it in 18 months. And I've saved. So it's really cool story. And like, I think more people need to hear that. And I get it. Like, when you come from certain different countries and different cultures, right? Like my wife, I was telling you earlier, is from Mexico, and like they're just taught, hey, go and get your master's degree and become a school teacher. Like her whole family school teachers.
Yeah.
I mean, her parents are actually buying real estate, so they're a little bit entrepreneurial, but people are used to it. Like, I need to go get a job, and like, really, like if you get a job, you're just over broke, and that's the truth, right? Because you can make decent money, but the time you pay taxes, your W-2 to get taxed at the worst. So I encourage everybody. That's why I started this podcast. I'm sure that's why you have your podcast, because there's so much out there that people don't know. And like, if you just take the time, and then, okay, let's fast forward now. So you started getting this wholesale business going. And then at some point you said, okay, I'm going to start buying some rental properties, right? You bought some single families and then duplexes and things. Walk me through that a little bit.
Yeah. So we've always been big on self-education, and we can do that with like podcasts and YouTube videos and ebooks that we can find. But we also believe in investing in our education. So what we did was we got into this sub 2 group. It's like a creative financing course.
Morby.
So we joined that. We were one of the first few hundred people to get in, and we used our first check that we got to actually pay for that. And we just paid it in full. And then what we would do is I would be cold calling. And I would be watching the course while I was doing it. So I was learning and then implementing everything that I was learning on the go. Eventually, we got our first 2 rentals. We didn't actually pay for them cash. We got one of them on a subject to, and it was like no money down, no interest. Well, we took over the payment on that one, but for the seller finance deal that we got, that one was no money down, no interest. We just had to pay closing costs, which for people that know, we live in North Carolina, so house prices are very low, but we literally came out of pocket like $2,000. And we're selling that this week. Actually, we're going to list it on the market, and we're going to profit like 20x what we initially invested. So that's how we got our first 2 rentals.
Yeah, cool. And then so after that, you were still wholesaling a little bit. And do you guys still wholesale a little bit now?
No, not anymore. We're full-time multifamily. Yeah.
So then you said, okay, hey, I like this single family space. It got us to where we want to go, but really we see the big opportunity is in multifamily syndication. And then like anything else, you sought out some mentors and you found Think Multifamily Mastermind Group, and you paid for it, or maybe they have like a student discount because you guys are so young. I hope they didn't charge you full boat, but anyway.
Definitely full boat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not in that way though.
They were flexible, but
They definitely like
they've looked out and they've been like invaluable to us, honestly.
No. Yeah. And hey, at the end of the day, it's so worth it. I mean, I put money down all the time, and sometimes it doesn't pay you back the first year. It takes you 2-3 years to recoup. But I always know anything that I invest in, I'm going to get, most of the time I'm going to recoup and then 10x and 100x that. So you got involved. So you shelled out some decent coin to buy this, to buy into a mastermind group. And you kind of vetted and you said, this group, we resonate with Think Multifamily. And you started going to their academics online, probably. You got to meet some other members. Now walk me through, you guys are now ready to do your first multifamily deal. You feel educated. You're inside a community. So I'm guessing like you saw the opportunities that you could partner on a deal and ride shotgun in a sense, but also like learn from that transaction. And you came in as a general partner on the first one and then raise some capital and have certain roles in that, deal. Can you walk me through that in a little high level right there?
For sure. So initially what we did was we just, obviously, like you said, we learned the course that they had. We went through that. Eventually what I did was reached out to all the individual members and just started networking with people, asking them what they were doing. Some people are focusing on raising money. And that's kind of like their focus, I would say. The other people are maybe looking for deals. What we ended up just kind of thinking we were going to do was find our own deal. But that quickly came to like, I wouldn't say a halt, but it just was something that we saw as a little bit more difficult. So we were like, we already have a brand going. Why not try to just build our investor database while we look for a deal? And we started going to these networking events that Think Multifamily was hosting. So in person, we're pretty good at networking. Since there's 3 of us, we kind of just spread like wildfire and just try to meet as many people as we can. And that's actually at the first event we went to. It's called the Deal Analysis Workshop. It was in Dallas, Texas. And we met our first partner. So eventually, a few months after the event, I gave him a call and he ended up having a deal in Jacksonville, Florida. I asked him like, what can I do to help? And he kind of just explained to me certain rules that he thinks my brothers and I would be a good fit for. Eventually we ended up bringing on some investors. We helped out with some of the marketing aspects, and we participate in the asset management calls as well. So that's how we got into the first one. And really it's all been a learning experience, but just by surrounding ourselves with a really good team, that's how we've been able to do it so fast.
That's awesome. This is such a good story. Like, I hope some 20-year-olds or some 18-year-olds out there, like, because there's a lot of people that they just don't know what they want to do with their life, and I think it's just like, it's cool that you guys are brothers and you do it together too. Cause I'm sure some of you have different skill sets. Some of you are better at like Excel. Like, I don't want to look at Excel. I hate spreadsheets. I want somebody to underwrite the deal and give me the high level talking points. And then I'll look at it and I'll go, yeah, this makes sense. So it's good that you guys can kind of, so then you scaled up and you got like you have 3 large multifamilies. You have over 600 units now that you're a general partner on. You've got your quarterly distributions coming. Your cash flow is good. And then eventually you'll have some equity when you go and sell the property. Do you typically, is your goal is like a 5-year hold and you're going to either refi or sell at that point?
Correct. Yeah.
So typically 5 to 6 year hold. And then if we can refinance after, 3 years, pull, if not all, some equity out. That would be a goal for our team.
So so what you're raising money, and you're probably raising money from people that are double or maybe triple your age.
Yeah. Most people already don't have like $2,000. So you're not getting into a deal.
So was that kind of a challenge or like people like started just talking to you guys? I know you guys you guys study, you guys are students of the game. You have your own podcast. How did you go about raising money initially? Was it because you already had built a platform, your podcast, people knew who you were, they were listening to you, like, these guys are smart. If you look like, is that kind of how you built your investor following in the beginning?
Yeah. So, I mean, first off, we were always intentional with networking. So we met some investors at those events, multifamily conferences and things like that. Also, we have been documenting our journey on social media. And like you said, we have the podcast. So surprisingly, some of our investors, one of them was somebody I met in college. It was the father, their dad. So it was like, we really weren't expecting that, but they kind of approached us. And that just came from being present and kind of being public about what we're doing.
Yeah, I think it's a mixture of many things, but it wouldn't have been, in my opinion, it was easier to do it because of the team that we had around us. Because obviously we're not going to lie about our age or the number of years that we've been in the industry, but what we have to our benefit is the people that are with us have been in the industry for 20 plus years. So that's something that really helped us.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You're listening to the Investor Financing Podcast. We'll be right back after this break.
Hello, Beau here, host of the Investor Financing Podcast. Are you a lender, real estate professional, or vendor that provides products or services within the real estate investing and business owner space? We are offering a few sponsorship opportunities to get in front of a highly targeted audience. If you're interested, please click the link below for further information. We look forward to talking with you. Thanks. Make it a great day. All right, so what does your average day look like? Do you wake up, go to the gym? I mean, what do you guys do on an average day? Are you using your skill sets to find deals? Because you guys seem like you're extremely motivated and you're like good deal finders. I know it's a little bit different in the multifamily game, but what does the day look like for you guys?
Yeah, I can start us off. So we wake up at 5 a.m. every morning. We wake up, get some oatmeal in Kerwin and me, and then we do yoga, meditate, and then brush our teeth, go to the gym after that for about an hour and a half, come back. We all take cold showers, and then we get another breakfast meal in. And we're pretty big into like working out. So right now we're trying to bulk.
Bulk season.
But
5'9", 240. I'll bulk. Come to Las Vegas. I'll bulk you up. Look at that.
Yeah, nowhere near 240, but we're also shorter. So
we're working towards that.
But after that, it's from I'd say from 8 to 9, we're reading. And then me and Kerwin like to journal. So we write some daily affirmations, some daily goals, and then just write down what our life goals are as well. And then after that, we'll start the day, work day from 9 to typically 8 o'clock. And in between then, we always make sure to include a nature walk with our dog. So we go out for like 20 minutes at a lake by our house and just take a walk to kind of try to remain present, because it can be hard to lose sight of the things that actually really make us happy if we're not taking a break from all the working.
But like in terms of the business, we also, I don't know if you mentioned, we have a meeting. We start the day with a meeting just to check base with each other, because we each kind of have our own roles. And I'm not always on top of what Kenneth is up to. So we want to make sure we're moving the needle in everything that we're doing. We're being really intentional with our time. And so that, that's kind of how our day looks.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You guys are so far ahead of the game. And it really came down from you guys educating yourself in like, the miracle mornings, the morning rituals, and even journaling and all that stuff. It really helps. I wasn't a big journaler or writing my goals down. It's like, you need to be doing that stuff. It's like everybody who's getting success does certain things. It's like, what did they say? Success leaves clues, right? Like, let's not reinvent the wheel. Let's follow what other people are doing that are successful. And then who do you follow? Like, who's your favorite people to follow, like in social media for like personal development or real estate?
Yeah, I like, there's a few people that come to mind. Ed Milet, Tim Grover, Robert Kiyosaki in regards to like financial literacy.
Jay Shetty is really good on personal growth. He has a podcast called On Purpose. That's awesome. Russell Brunson, someone we're listening to right now for marketing and just things like that.
And then George Gammon for macroeconomics. He's got a podcast called The Rebel Capitalist Show.
Yeah. And then Grant Cardone for real estate.
Yeah. We like Grant Cardone too.
Yeah. He might be overpaying for some properties. I don't know. Well, I don't know. Real estate, it's like he's buying these buildings. It's like, holy cow, what are you doing? But it seems to be, we have a shortage of housing, and so I don't know. I would have thought the run would have been over, but it just keeps going. And like, we're in a war now. We have, we're coming out of COVID, inflation, and I don't know. It's interesting times, and that's for sure.
It's a time to be alive, though.
It's an amazing time to be alive, because like I can connect with you guys.
Yeah.
And the power of Zoom and social media.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the ability to learn anything you want on YouTube University or, you know, joining mastermind groups. There's really no excuses. I mean, I think a lot of people get overwhelmed, right? And they can't just focus. They can't like, okay, like you guys are pretty decisive. Like when I asked you, are you doing any, no, we're multifamily. We're buying, you know, by the time we're 30, we're going to own, you know, 10,000 units or whatever. Right. I'm sure you guys have your goals written down and you know, what kind of cash flow. And so you guys all live together still.
Yeah.
So you're focused, not chasing the women right yet. It's like
Not yet.
Not yet. No.
Yeah, it's good.
not
That's
Like
good. I
them,
mean, focus on like, you know, financial independence. And I mean, you guys will be at the point and you're like 30 years old and you're going to be like, well, we could just live off our cash flow and we don't have to do anything else, you know, and then you can really give back, which is great.
Yeah,
right?
sure. Yeah, for sure.
And before we went live, what was kind of what got me like the chills is that they're going to help their mom retire. And so mom, if you're listening, you know, you got to believe in your children. I tell my mom too, like I still do, because I still talk to my mom a lot. She lives down the street and here in Las Vegas, but you know, she had said something to me and it was kind of negative. I'm like, you know, our parents need to listen to these podcasts because sure, are we gonna like make mistakes and you know, sometimes we might even lose on a deal or something like that. I mean, you're not always going to bat 1,000, but at the end of the day, you know, I'd invest in guys like you because you guys are like, you guys are like, you're doing what you need to do. And so I just like, there's so many people that are kind of closed, not my mom's closed-minded, but in general, they're closed-minded and they're like, hey, you got to do the safe thing. Well, sometimes when you do the safe thing, you know, do you want to be sitting at a desk, like taking orders from somebody else, or do you want to create, you know, a legacy? And that's what you guys chose.
Yeah.
And I hope this resonates for anybody listening out there. Like, even if you're 60 or 70 years old, and you're like, look, these young kids are doing it. You're not too old to do it either, right? Like even I'm 44 years old. I still have I am just getting started with my life. And I mean, I know I don't look 44, but I work out every day. Anyways, this was a really fun interview. I know you're going to join us on the Vinny and Beau show. Where are the best places people to follow you?
Yeah, we are at Donis Brothers on every social media platform. And we also have a website, donisinvestmentgroup.com.
Yeah. And that's DONIS.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And you guys also are fluent in Spanish, huh?
Yeah.
See, okay. See, I got my new tutors now. So I learn Spanish. So. It's hard to learn. It's hard to learn a second language.
It is.
Like as you get older, it's even like way harder. I have to commit to it though. I have to journal and write. I need to learn Spanish.
Just have to submerge yourself. Go live there for a few months.
Yeah, that's the plan. I'm gonna live in Mexico, and like the American $1 is 20 pesos, right? Like you can
go a long way.
Yeah, it goes a long way. Well, everybody, thanks for watching another episode of the Investor Financing Podcast. And this has really been a great show. I'm inspired. Like I love shows that I get inspired by. I had a good show the other day on a note investing because I didn't ever really buy any notes. And I had Scott Carson, and he was really good too. And I committed that I was going to buy a note. You know, it's a different side. Like I'm used to doing transactions, flips, and buying notes. You're buying distressed debt, right? Or you know, and controlling the paper. So I'm going to buy a note in the next 90 days and just learn, right? Because it's a constant learning. And then one day I got to maybe get Vinny Chopra to help me buy a big multifamily property so I can get up to the 1,000 unit club.
That'd be awesome.
All right, guys. Well, thanks so much. And we'll see everybody on the next episode.
Thanks for having us.